All right, well, what do they say, man? Third time's a charm, man. Third time's a charm. So let's see what it does. Okay, so this is definitely one that I knew even way before I did it that this was going to make a huge difference, because even when it comes to high horsepower applications, changing up a rear differential gear ratio, it completely changes the characteristics of your car, period. So this one I knew was going to do it for me. Now, mind you, I didn't want to go, and I know some people are comfortable with it, which I know some engines are comfortable and run efficiently at the higher RPMs as far as cruise speed. I didn't want to go but so high. So I had to go with the gear that made me feel comfortable, and I based my gear ratio off of 80 miles an hour. So if I was comfortable at whatever RPM it was at 80 miles an hour, then that's the move. And honestly, the 390 gear, that's what did it for me. I did the math, once again, Motor Trend. Yeah, tech tip, baby. Okay, so tech tip, man. So this is why I even decided to go with the gear ratio I did. Once again, this is my daily driver. If you've been watching the channel, everything is pretty much based upon that and planning for the future. So I'm not wasting money down the line, but also getting whatever performance and bang I can get for it. So I decided to go with a 390 gear, and I'm gonna let you guys know how I even came to that conclusion. Now, once again, I'm a big Motor Trend guy. David Freiberger, Finnegan, Dulcich. I mean, you guys probably know who it is. Some of you may not. But anyway, David Freiberger is the man. I got this equation from him, and I've pretty much been living by this whenever I am mapping out my drivetrain and trying to figure out whatever gear ratio it is that I'm gonna go with. So I went online, got it for you guys. Here it is. I have it screenshotted in my phone. I go back to it all the time. But this is just the common stuff. You got your 4L60E, you got your 4L80E. Now, here's all the gears. You got your low, which is first. Then you got your second, third, and you got your fourth gear. Now, same thing for the 4L80. And like I said, these are common. You'll see a lot of these transmissions out there. So I figured I might as well put the 80E up there while I'm doing it here. Plus a little bit of a spoiler alert. And here's the actual equation itself. Bear with me. It might look like a lot, but I promise you it's not. Simple. So you have your engine RPM, which is what you're trying to get out of this equation. You're trying to figure out what is your engine RPM going to be at whatever you decide to cruise at. Me personally, I decided to base mine off of cruising at 80 miles an hour. I didn't want to scream down the freaking highway and at 80 miles an hour doing like 4,000 RPMs. I'll pass. I'm not that guy. So 80 miles an hour is my base. So that's where we're going to start. Now, miles per hour times your gear ratio times your trans ratio, and then that's times 336. 336, that number's not gonna change. That number's gonna stay the same throughout this entire thing. And last but not least, you got your tire diameter. So I'm gonna plug all of that stuff in pretty much with what I have with the Kodiak, so you guys know. So 80 miles per hour, just plug that in. Then we're gonna move over to my gear ratio, which is a 390 gear that I have in the rear. Then we're gonna move over to the transmission gear, which in a 4L60E, I have it over here, 4L60E, that's 0.70 for the fourth gear. So 0.70, that's where that came from, and then times 336. Once again, that 336 doesn't change. And then at the end, you're gonna divide all of that by 28. So once you multiply this entire top row, plugging in all your information for your application, then you're gonna divide that by your tire size. And this is something that you can always do to figure it out as you make changes down the line. Whether you go with a bigger tire, different rear gears, doesn't matter. So once I mapped all of that out, that's how I ended up coming up with 2,600 RPM. No, I'm not gonna tell you 2,620.8. I'm gonna tell you 2,600 RPM. And I'm actually fine with that. And I've been cool with that. Been riding like that for a long time, and it's great. And then decided to do it for an 80E, because once again, you guys are gonna see this. So 80E fourth gear is gonna be 0.75. So that 0.75 is what you're gonna change in this equation. I'm not changing anything else. So tire size, that 336, gear ratio, all of that staying the same. The only thing I'm gonna change is the actual fourth gear ratio of the transmission. So again, we got 80 miles per hour, 390 gear. Then we're gonna times that by 0.75, which is fourth gear in a 4L80E, and then times that by that 336, that stays constant. Once you get that whole number, we're gonna divide that by 28, and that is going to give you 2,808 RPM. You know what I'm gonna tell you? 2,800 RPM, and that's it. And truthfully, I could have gave you guys like the whole number itself, but I figured you're probably already freaking bored to death. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just cut that out and actually explain it. All right, man, that's it. Back to it. I don't know how to do gears just yet. Eventually, one day I will, obviously, to try to be more as self-sufficient as possible. I'm going to learn how to do it, but as of right now, I don't. So holler at Tyler Ford. The guy's done multiple things for me. I mean, when it comes to welding, the gear ratio, you know, all of that crap. He deals with some pretty fast stuff. He's constantly going around different tracks and racing and whatnot, so it's hard to catch him. I took it over to him, he put the gears in, and I could definitely tell off rip, like, okay, this is definitely a different animal. So the one issue that you will run into, now mind you, I do have the 0411 PCM swap, but issue is if you don't do that, or if you don't modify your black box that comes factory in these, you're going to hit a wall. And that wall is scary, and it sucks because it scared the crap out of me. Issue is that once you do that to your rear gear ratio, your computer thinks that your gear ratio is whatever you previously had. So the problem that you're going to have is you're going to go up and then hit the gas and then start driving. Your tachometer, well, not tachometer, your speedo on your dash is going to tell you that you're doing a speed that you're not doing. Anytime I would get close to maybe, I don't know, 70 something miles an hour, this thing thought I was doing 100. So the computer would shut the engine down and retard timing or whatever it does and withhold spark to basically stop the car from going any faster than that. And that's a scary feeling. I definitely thought that I broke something, but I didn't. So fast forward a bit, put the 0411 in, everything was programmed in the 0411 the way it was supposed to. The tire size was corrected, the rear gear ratio was corrected, all of that stuff was corrected, so then I could finally make passes. I knew it was going to be fast because the one, well, faster. I knew it was going to be faster just by doing it, even with the governor on it, because all of the previous numbers, when you're looking at the draggy, you'll look at all of your numbers, which is your 60 foot, then you'll see, the 300 mark, then you'll see the 8th mile. All of those numbers were lower than my previous numbers, so I knew I was going to run a faster time. That was about to be the fastest pass I have ever made, bro. God damn! And that was with me on the brake! Oh my gosh! Woo! But I couldn't really get any full passes in until after I did the 0411 swap and was actually able to make a full pass. All right, so enough of me jabbering. We're gonna see what it does, make the first lick, and then go from there. But one thing I do have to add is now I finally have a posi unit in here. And that posi unit that I went with was a Detroit True Track. Love the Detroit True Track. I mean, I've used it plenty of times. Other vehicles, my Suburban has one, and so I knew that, okay, this is what I'm going to go with. So Detroit True Track plus the 390s, now we can see what they do with having both tires finally spinning. Okay, so first pass, now we're cooking. Now we're getting somewhere after that first pass. I mean, I know that I can get more out of it after that first one, so I was itching to make another one. So while learning this thing, we're gonna hit a second pass. Now mind you, like I said, off camera, I'm definitely making multiple passes that you don't see because I wanna make sure that it's not a fluke and it's consistent. All right, man, so close. I'm literally pinching pennies here, but I really think I can get this thing to a 16.5. I knew I could get it to a 16.5 if I could just, I don't know, just do it right. So I'm gonna go try to hit another one, and I literally just kept going until I was finally able to get that 16.5. And honestly, that 16.5 would be faster if I could shift better, because I don't know what's going on. I'm like fighting my transmission. For whatever reason, even when I do drop it all the way down to 1, I'm hitting the gas and taking off, and it's literally a 50-50. Sometimes the computer still shifts for me, even though I'm in low all the way in 1, and it shifts really early in the past, or sometimes it'll actually continue to run up the RPM until I decide to shift. It all depends. But that's one thing that has to get corrected at a later date. But all right, let's see if I can get it on this last pass, man. It, y'all. I mean, the 390 gear probably definitely made the biggest difference, if I had to say so, as far as everything that I've done. And yeah, I mean, a 16.5, I'll take it. Plus, on top of that, I am pretty heavy. I actually went to a cat station and weighed, and you're going to see that majority of you are going to be lighter than me. And that's because I got a bunch of other stuff going on. I mean, I did go at what I would consider my usual day-to-day race weight, but at the same time, when I actually do go to the track, I'm going to take out the box that I have my subs in. But yeah, man, the next one is probably going to be it didn't turn out too well, because I mean, once again, this is hindsight. I've done a lot. You got the headers on there now. I have the one-piece drive shaft that saves some weight. It's all aluminum. The PC is a whole bunch of other crap that I think definitely made a difference as far as being able to actually make the tires stick. And the cow tracks, I'm still trying to figure that out. But yeah, guys, don't be afraid of the gear. I mean, funny I'm saying that. I went with the 390, but there's plenty of people that would tell me to go with like a 410, 411. And truthfully, I may, who knows, maybe in the future go and do that, but probably not. I'm good at the RPM that I'm at now. But I know some people think that 373 is the end all be all, and you can't go any bigger than that or lower, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, step it up a little bit. Go to 390. Worked out for me. But I'll see you on the next one, man. Peace.